dance this way, put up a dance show for them to dance another way, you know? Because this is something you can do. And there isn't any one answer, and you are right. It isn't one person, and there's not even one monolithic kind of thinking. But the question is, do we have love for our people? And so that even when we make it, we say, I can't let that brother go. I can't let that sister go. That's me too. Could be my child. You know, because what that sister, somebody said here earlier, when I was growing up in Oakwood, the person down the street used to look out for me when my parents were gone. We all knew that neighborhood. Everybody's mother could slap you upside your head. You know, and people would come up to me in my church and be able to open my mouth and take gum. You know, it was some woman, I don't even know you. You know, you opening my mouth and take a gum out of my mouth, you better not say nothing about it, right? Now, even though we lost that because our communities have been gentrified, dispersed, we've lost power, crack cocaine has been inundated. People say, well, black people could have just said, no, please, Nancy Reagan. Let's not talk about that much. So there are things we could be doing, and we're all saying that. But the real thing of this last section is to take some action in the interest of our people. And I think that's really, if you don't mind, I'm sort of making a kind of closing kind of idea. That's really, and to come together in love, and in love of our people, and not that we don't like this one and we don't like that one, but in love of our people. And then you will find your way. You'll find that thing that this sister was saying. We all have something that we can do. And then when we find that big moment that we're all going to come together, I have to say this last thing. People say, well, how did you end up in the party? Well, if you know, I mean, I was a cocktail waitress at the Pink Pussycat in 1965. Watch was raging all around me. I was like, what? My eyelashes were batting, and I didn't care about anything but making some money, okay? And you couldn't have told me anything about what black people were doing. I didn't care. But a whole bunch of things intervened to raise my consciousness. And so when you say raising consciousness, there were discussions, but there were concrete things that happened. Watts was raging around me, and I was working in Hollywood as a Pink Pussycat. 2 years later, I was in the Black Panther Party because somehow a process, and I heard something that somebody said. So even if it's just a seminar, if it's just a teach-in, as we used to call it, if it's just this, then there are things that we can do. But if we have some idea that we want to do something, then I think we will find that thing that we fit into.
Well, what else can be said? I mean, that sums up very nicely, you know, all of the ideas and all of the messages that we got from today's panelists. And on that note, I'd like to give another round of applause for all of our panelists today. I think they were wonderful. Also like to thank the Bunche Center staff and everyone who helped put on today's program. We've been working on this for a while. I'd like to thank our wonderful moderator, Kimberly West-Faulcon. On job, marathon. Okay, speaking of marathons, it's been a long day, and it's not quite over yet. We have a reception downstairs in the lobby, the west lobby downstairs on the first floor. But before you leave, I have a few concluding remarks I'd like to make regarding upcoming events here at the Bunche Center that you may be interested in. First of all, the Gerald Wilson Living Legends Lecture is this coming Thursday, May 27th in the Bunche Center Library Media Center. We're honoring one of our own professors here, Cheryl Keys. Black Los Angeles book signing at SO1 Books on Monday, June 7th. That particular book signing will feature Reginald Chappell, who wrote the second chapter on the movement from Central Avenue to Leimert Park, Mignon Moore, who wrote the chapter on Black and Gay in Los Angeles, and Anna Cristina Ramon and myself, who will be talking about King Drew Medical Center and what happened with that medical facility near Watts. Last but not least, Leimert Park Village Book Fair on Saturday, June 26th also will feature the Black Los Angeles book. We'll have a booth set up, and Scott Brown is tentatively scheduled at 11 a.m. in the Vision Theater to talk about his work with Solar. Thank you, and see you downstairs.